Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this now. Only 3 minutes left. A person in heaven who you love very much begged to send this. Do not skip. This is urgent. God is trying to reach you. They whispered your name in heaven last night. Did you feel it? A soft nudge in your heart. That wasn't your imagination. That was someone you deeply love, someone who has already crossed over, begging to get just one message to you. And because they couldn't reach you, they cried. Archangel Michael saw those tears and he came running. He begged God, please, let me deliver it myself. They're not ready to lose everything. Please, Father, this child must open this now. You have no idea what's been happening behind the veil. But tonight, you were chosen to know. This message was hidden from you before. Delayed, blocked. Because if you saw it too early, you might not believe it. But now your soul is ready. That's why you feel this strange pull in your chest like something massive is about to happen. You're right. It is. And it's already started. There is someone who left this world still holding on to you, still loving you, still watching everything. They tried again and again to speak to you through dreams, signs, flickering lights, chills, and every time you brushed it off. Maybe it's just in my head, you thought. But no, beloved, it was heaven trying to reach you. It was your name echoing through the halls of eternity. And tonight, they got permission to break every rule just to warn you before it's too late. Michael says they are not ready to hear this from anyone else. Only you can know this secret. That's why he came down himself, sword glowing, heart heavy with urgency. He's watched you make decisions lately that could lead you into pain, into loss, into regret. And heaven couldn't stay silent anymore. There's something that's about to happen sooner than you think. And your name, your actual name, was brought up in a divine council 14 hours ago. You were chosen. Not just seen, not just heard, but divinely powerfully chosen. And do you know what God said? Give them one last chance. Send Michael. If they open it in time, I will rewrite their fate. Love letter. Wait before you go further. If you're still here, it means heaven is speaking directly to you. Don't miss the rest of this message. Michael says, subscribe right now to stay connected to heaven's messages because what's coming next will break your heart if you miss it. Love letter. You were not meant to carry so much pain alone. That's why the message came today. That's why you were guided here. That's why your finger clicked on this coincidence. Not even close. This is a soul appointment scheduled in heaven, written in fire, rain, and stardust. And if you open your heart now, you'll feel them. The person you love so much. The one who left too soon. They're standing behind you, whispering softly, please, please hear this. I love you and I need you to know what's about to come. Michael continues, they've waited long enough. And now if this message is skipped, their words will vanish forever. I won't be allowed to send it again. This is the final chance. Heaven does not repeat itself. The person in heaven saw what happened to you last week. They saw you cry when no one else knew. They saw the moment you felt completely forgotten. And they shouted into the stars, please, if they only knew how close their miracle is. Because, beloved, your miracle is not far. It's closer than it's ever been. But so is the storm. And one decision, one wrong step could cost you everything you've been praying for. That's why Michael was sent. Not just to warn you, but to walk with you. Right now, Michael is beside you. He's not a myth, not a story, not a painting on a wall. He is real. And he is watching you like a soldier protecting royalty. Because that's what you are, divine royalty. And your kingdom, it's been under attack. But now it's time to rise. He whispers. Now, beloved, don't scroll. Don't skip. The person who loves you from heaven, if you knew what they gave up to send this, you would cry. They had to beg. Yes, beg. In the halls of heaven, where no soul dares raise their voice unless spoken to, they dropped to their knees and wept just to be granted this moment for you. For you. Not for anyone else. Because there's something you're about to find out. Something you were never supposed to know until this very second. Something they've kept hidden to protect you. But now the protection is no longer enough. Now you need the truth. Michael says, this is why your sleep's been broken. This is why certain people suddenly stopped calling. Why your energy changed without warning. Heaven was shifting things without your permission to guide you toward this exact moment. Every door that closed, it was part of this. Every strange coincidence. It was designed to lead you here because what you are about to receive will make sense of all the confusion. Do not underestimate what is at stake. The person in heaven who loves you has seen something you cannot. They've seen the trap being set. They've seen the person speaking sweetly while secretly hiding their true intent. And most of all, they've seen what will happen if you stay silent. That's why they screamed for Michael. And he, Archangel Michael, stepped forward with his sword and said, I'll go. You've been walking through spiritual fire, and most people don't even know. You've smiled while breaking. You've prayed while bleeding. And you've carried secrets that no one on earth could handle. But heaven could. Heaven did. And that's why they waited until today to deliver this sacred message, because you're stronger than you were before. And now you're finally ready to know what's been kept from you. Michael says, there are 3 things that are about to happen, and only if you read every word will you recognize them in time. The first is a message. Someone alive will contact you in a way that will shock you. Their words will seem random, but it will be a direct echo of what your loved one in heaven said. When you see it, you will know this was real. The second is a person. Someone you never expected will show kindness in a moment you need it most. Do not ignore them. That person is being divinely used. The third is a test. A decision will be placed in front of you, disguised as something small, but what you choose will unlock either a blessing or a delay. And here's the secret Michael was not supposed to reveal. But he's breaking the rules for you. If you pass this test, within 9 days, a long-awaited miracle tied to your finances, your family, and your health will be released like a tidal wave from heaven's vault. Not just one blessing, but 3. Connected, timed, ready, and my child, when heaven begins preparing blessings for your life, it also places a path before you so you can receive them with faith, wisdom, and confidence. My child, I see the struggle you have been facing, the stress about finances, the silent worries that stay in your heart, and the moments where you feel uncertain about what comes next. You have been asking for peace, and that answer is already on its way. You are not meant to stay stuck in fear, you are meant to walk forward with purpose, with faith, and with clear steps every day. That is why a simple system has been placed in front of you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system, a path where each day brings you a focused prayer, a small financial action, and clear direction to help you move ahead. No pressure, no confusion, just steady progress toward peace and stability. If something inside you feels ready, if you are ready to change your situation, take that first step today. This could be the moment your life begins to change. You will find the link in the description, and in the comments below. Because the blessings heaven has prepared are not meant to be received with fear, but with faith and a willing heart. And you were supposed to miss it. You were not on the list to receive it. But the person in heaven who loves you refused to stop praying. They cried your name every night, begging God to show you mercy. And when heaven said, "They haven't earned it yet," that soul answered back, "But I love them. Let my tears count as their offering." And God listened. That's why you're here. That's why Michael's voice is in your soul right now. That's why you feel like your heart is beating louder. Because, beloved, this moment was prophesied. You are not just being warned. You are being chosen. Archangel Michael is still here standing behind you, his wings shielding your back because you don't even realize how many spiritual arrows have been thrown at you lately. You've been walking through unseen attacks, things that didn't hit you, not because they weren't real, but because Michael blocked them with his sword. That illness that almost happened. That betrayal that almost reached you. That mistake you almost made. You didn't dodge them. He intercepted them quietly, lovingly, without ever asking for thanks. Because he was sent by someone you loved, someone who whispered to him, "They won't believe me, but they'll believe you." And now it's your turn to listen because something is coming. Michael calls it a storm disguised as an opportunity. A person is about to show up in your life soon. They'll come with what looks like a gift, a solution, a moment of ease. But inside that gift is distraction, confusion, a delay. And if you say yes to the wrong thing, you'll unknowingly say no to everything God has prepared. This is why the message had to come now. This is why you've been urged to stay awake, to be alert, to not skip, because there is a blessing forming in heaven with your name carved into it. And that blessing is fragile. If you are not spiritually awake, it could pass to someone else. Michael says this miracle was crafted by God's own hands. But if they do not claim it, heaven is instructed to reassign it. Can you feel that, the urgency? Because it's not just about blessings. It's about legacy. Your legacy. The person who loves you in heaven isn't just trying to make you happy. They're trying to protect the next 5 years of your life from being stolen. Yes, stolen. Because there is a spiritual thief near you. Someone who is pretending to support you, smiling in your face. But the moment they find out what you're being offered, they will try to twist it for themselves. That's why this message is sacred. That's why it was hidden. That's why Michael says, "Do not tell anyone what you are about to receive. Not until the time is right." There's a silence you've been walking through where you've been asking God, "Why do I feel so alone?" And heaven answers you now with Michael's voice echoing through your soul. Because when God separates you, He's preparing something no one else is allowed to touch. That's what's happening. Your life has been on hold. Not because you were forgotten, but because heaven was preparing an encounter that's never been seen before in your bloodline. A shift so big, the angels call it the reversal because the curses that followed your family end with you. The cycles stop with you. The silence breaks because of you. And that person in heaven who begged Michael to send this, they've been waiting decades just to see it finally happen in your life. Beloved, I need you to breathe for a moment because the next part might make your hands shake. Are you ready? The person you love in heaven left something behind. A truth, a confession, a letter they never got to say until now. Michael says, the person you're thinking of right now, yes, them, they never stopped watching you. They saw your pain, your strength, your growth, and they want you to know something. They're proud of you. They never stopped loving you, not even in death. They begged heaven to deliver this one line to you. If I could speak to you one last time, I'd say this. I didn't leave you. I just went ahead to make sure you'd be okay. And now that moment has arrived. They said, I didn't leave you. I just went ahead to make sure you'd be okay. And that one sentence, it came soaked in tears from heaven's gate because they watched everything. Every single thing. The night you broke down in the dark and said, God, I can't take this anymore. The morning you smiled in public but cried in private. The messages you never sent. The secrets you never spoke. They saw all of it and they never looked away. Not once. Michael leans in now, his voice gentler but firmer than ever. Do not skip this because the next 24 hours are not normal. Heaven has assigned angels to your path. You may not see them, but they are there. And if you ignore this message, they will be reassigned. Your name will still be loved, but your moment will be postponed, and your miracle will wait until you finally listen. Heaven doesn't give warnings like this without reason. Someone you trust is not telling you the truth. Someone you're ignoring is hiding a blessing. Someone you lost is trying to return. Not in the body, but in message, in miracle, in divine motion. The person you love from heaven. They gave up something for you. Time, peace, maybe even a higher assignment. They stood before God and said, let me stay near them just a little longer. They're almost ready. I can feel it. And God said, yes. Because God believes in you more than you believe in yourself. And Michael has been sent not just to protect you, but to prepare you. There is something that is coming to your home physically, spiritually, financially, and if you are not awake, you will miss it while scrolling past the screen. That is why this message had to come now, not later, not tomorrow, not when you have time, now. Because right now something is being written in the book of destiny and your name is on the page and your decision to listen or ignore is being sealed with every second that passes. Michael whispers. You were never forgotten. Just hidden for protection, for power, for purpose. But now, heaven has released the cover. You're stepping into a season where what was blocked will burst open. But only if you say yes. Only if you keep reading. That voice in your spirit right now, the one urging you to keep going, that's them. That's the one who left. The one you miss, the one who whispered your name in heaven's silence. They're with you now. Not in the past. Not in memory. Now, their love didn't die. Their soul didn't vanish. You weren't made to fit. You were made to lead. That's why you've always felt a little different from everyone else. That's why certain conversations exhaust you. That's why you can't fake small talk anymore. It's not pride. It's spiritual evolution. You are changing frequencies. And that's not easy. But you're not alone. There's someone watching over you right now. Their body may be in heaven, but their love is still here. They're part of the reason this message found you. They whispered your name to the angels. They asked for your protection. They cried out, please don't let them miss it again. And heaven answered, this is your moment. The veil has lifted. Your spiritual GPS is recalibrating and God is moving. Don't look for signs anymore. This is the sign. Don't beg for peace anymore. Peace is already arriving. Don't fear losing people anymore. The right ones will never leave. Michael says this with divine certainty. If they trust this message, their entire life will start rearranging itself to match their prayers. God has approved the miracle. You're going to feel it in your sleep. You'll start waking up lighter. Some dreams will be intense. Don't be afraid. They're not attacks, they're messages. Your spiritual inbox is full. And now the downloads will begin. That's why you feel more emotional. That's why your skin tingles. That's why your eyes are watering. You're not weak. You're aligned. Your heart is opening again. And God is walking in. Let me say this clearly. You are going to make it. Whatever pain you survived, whatever betrayal tried to break you, whatever moment you thought would be the end of you, it was all allowed so you could stand in this hour with this clarity and this readiness and say, I'm still here and I still believe. And heaven says, that's enough. Now we can begin. So, close your eyes one last time. Not to sleep, but to seal this moment, because Michael is doing something you've never seen before. He's lifting his sword toward heaven and saying your name out loud. And when that happens, heaven listens. Miracles respond. And the future begins shifting. You've been assigned an angel. You don't need to ask for it. You already have one. Their presence will become more obvious in the coming days. They will appear in dreams, in music, in numbers, in small perfect moments that whisper. You are loved. You are seen. You are protected. Now open your heart and breathe. It's done. The old is collapsing. The new is being built. The delay is over. And your next chapter, it's not written in pain. It's written in glory. Michael steps back now and smiles. He says, they listened. They stayed. They will be blessed. Dove, may this message echo in your spirit. May it guide you. May it bless you. And may you never again doubt that heaven loves you deeply, truly, and forever. Archangel Michael is still near. But now he steps to the side because this last part isn't just from him. It's from God Himself. My child, you made it to the end of what most people would never have the patience to read. And that's how I know you are the one I've been waiting for. You don't just scroll through life, you search for meaning. You don't just want answers, you want truth. And I've watched you cry while hiding your heart from others. I've seen you smile while breaking inside. I've listened to every whisper you made when no one else was around. And I need you to know I never left. Not once. Every delay had my fingerprint on it. Every unanswered prayer had timing behind it. Every door that closed had protection hidden in it. And every time you felt like giving up, I was the reason you didn't. You think you're too late. Never. You think you're too broken. Not in my eyes. You think others are more favored. Not so. I chose you. Before the world was born, before you ever cried, before anyone hurt you, I already carved your name into a moment that looks exactly like this one. A moment where your spirit would finally pause, breathe, and say, maybe God really is talking to me. Yes, I am. And I've been waiting for you to finally hear me without noise. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be strong every day. You just need to believe just enough to say yes. Because that, yes, is all I need to start shifting your entire world. And my child, when you say yes to the path I place before you, I begin guiding your steps toward the peace, clarity, and breakthrough you have been praying for. My child, I see the weight you have been carrying. The quiet worries about money, the stress you rarely speak about, the nights when your mind refuses to rest. You have been praying for peace, and your prayers have been heard. You are not meant to walk this journey in confusion and fear. You are meant to walk with faith, with clarity, and with daily direction. That is why a simple path has been placed before you, a 30-day faith and financial breakthrough system. Each day you will be guided with a gentle prayer, a simple money step, and clear direction to help you regain control. Nothing overwhelming, nothing complicated. Just small faithful steps leading you toward peace and stability. If your heart feels ready, begin today. Do not delay this moment. The link is in the description and in the comments below. Because the changes I am bringing into your life will not happen through fear, but through faith, trust, and daily steps forward. There is someone watching your journey right now who has no idea how close they are to finally stepping forward. They don't know why they feel the urge to reach out. They don't know why your name feels magnetic. But I do, because I placed that in their spirit. I softened their heart. And now I'm preparing them to walk into your life as a blessing, not a burden. But first, I needed to prepare you. I needed to stretch your heart wide enough to receive something pure. Because love that comes from me cannot enter a place filled with old wounds. That's why the loneliness was so long. It wasn't punishment. It was healing. You cried about the silence, but didn't you notice? It taught you to listen. You cried about the betrayal. But look, now you know who's real. You cried about the delays. But see, now you value what's sacred. That's not loss. That's transformation. Now here's what comes next. In the coming weeks, your life is going to change. Not because you forced it, but because I've already spoken to the atmosphere. The winds will shift, the mood will shift, people will shift, and suddenly, without you knowing exactly when, it'll feel like something divine cracked open above your head. And that will be your sign. When that moment comes, don't run. Don't doubt. Don't shrink. Walk boldly. Speak clearly. Receive fully. You've waited long enough. And now you are the miracle. Michael is watching you with joy. The angels are at attention. Your ancestors are whispering gratitude. Your destiny is unlocked. Now take one final breath and whisper. I receive it, because you've reached the holy moment, the spiritual finish line, or maybe the beginning. Dove. Amen. Dove. Someone you lost is trying to return. Not in the body, but in message, in miracle, in divine motion. The person you love from heaven, they gave up something for you. Time, peace, maybe even a higher assignment. They stood before God and said, "Let me stay near them just a little longer. They're almost ready. I can feel it." And God said, "Yes, because God believes in you more than you believe in yourself." And Michael has been sent not just to protect you but to prepare you. There is something that is coming to your home physically, spiritually, financially. And if you are not awake, you will miss it while scrolling past a screen. That is why this message had to come now, not later, not tomorrow, not when you have time, now, because right now something is being written in the book of destiny and your name is on the page, and your decision to listen or ignore is being sealed with every second that passes. Michael whispers. You were never forgotten. Just hidden, for protection, for power, for purpose. But now, heaven has released the cover. You're stepping into a season where what was blocked will burst open. But only if you say yes. Only if you keep reading. That voice in your spirit right now, the one urging you to keep going, that's them. That's the one who left. The one you miss. The one who whispered your name in heaven's silence. They're with you now. Not in the past. Not in memory. Now, their love didn't die. Their soul didn't vanish. They simply stepped into light. And that light is touching your life as we speak. And if you let it in, truly let it in, your next 21 days will not look like your last 21 years. And if you really knew what's being arranged behind the scenes right now, you would fall to your knees and cry, not from fear, but from relief. Because you're not as lost as you think. You're not as late as you fear. You're not as alone as the world made you feel. Heaven has been setting the stage for something you've prayed for in silence, something you almost gave up on. But the person you love in heaven never let it go, not even for a moment. Michael says, they carried your prayer into the throne room. They whispered it to God while you slept. And even when you forgot what you asked for, they didn't. There's a letter in the Spirit. It hasn't arrived yet, but it's on the way. It's invisible now, but it's moving toward you in the form of confirmation, conversation, divine encounter. And when it arrives, you'll know because the words will echo something no one else could possibly know. That's when you'll remember this moment. This exact message, this exact breath. Because right now, heaven is holding its breath, waiting to see if you'll listen. You see, beloved, sometimes the loudest miracles come in the quietest moments. Michael was told to tell you, there is still something you were born to do, and the enemy knows it. That's why your battles have been so unfair. That's why you faced pain that others wouldn't survive. But it's also why heaven refused to give up on you. You are not average. Your pain was not random. And your future is not empty. But there's someone watching. Someone who doesn't want you to step into what's coming. Not a person on earth. A spirit. A spirit of confusion, delay, distraction. It's been whispering later. Tomorrow, skip this. Close it. But your soul knows better. That person in heaven you love. They've seen this spirit circle you. They've shouted at angels to keep it away. They've cried out, please, just let them see one more message. Just one more chance to know, and heaven listened. That's why this moment exists. That's why this message found you. That's why you didn't scroll away. Michael's voice now deepens. This part isn't gentle. It's fierce. Full of holy power. You only have one warning left. And this is it. If you ignore this, you'll never see this again. You'll forget the details, the emotion, the urgency. But if you open your heart now, truly open it, everything changes. Everything begins to break open. And you're so close, beloved. Closer than you think. But you must be careful now. The next call you receive, the next text, the next offer, pray before you say yes, pray before you say no. Because everything is spiritual now. Every word, every connection, every delay. Michael says what they think is random is already written. You're walking into a divine pattern. You're stepping onto sacred ground. And if you stay aligned, even when it doesn't make sense, you will witness miracles that your past self could never even imagine. But there's one thing left to say. One thing Michael insisted you hear from the soul who sent him. I still love you. I never stopped. And I know things were left unsaid, but now you know my love for you didn't die. It rose with me. That voice you feel in your chest right now, that's them. That's the person you love in heaven pressing their spirit into yours. They can't hold your hand anymore. So, they're holding your heart and they're asking, pleading, please finish this message. Please don't miss what I came all this way to tell you. Michael pauses now. His sword lowers. His wings close around you like a shelter. And he says softly, there's something else they need to know. Something they couldn't say before they left. And here it is. They never blamed you. Not for the silence. Not for not being there. Not for the words you didn't say, the visits you didn't make, the goodbye you didn't get to give. They know. They know you were hurting, too. They know life got heavy. They know how you've punished yourself over and over in secret, replaying the last conversation, wondering if it was enough. And now they want that burden lifted. Michael says, they asked me to take this weight off your shoulders. So hear them now. They forgive you. They always did. And more than that, they never needed forgiveness to love you. They just needed you to love yourself again. And that's why this moment matters more than you realize, because your life isn't just yours anymore. It's a continuation of theirs. They passed the torch. You're holding it now. And the decisions you make, the love you allow, the dreams you finally say yes to, those are their legacy. And there's something else. Something so sacred even Michael pauses to speak it. He says, a test is coming in disguise. Not in fire or thunder, but in kindness, in a moment that seems small. A person will ask you something simple, and your answer will unlock either delay or destiny. Be alert. Watch for it, because heaven will be watching too. That's how close you are. That's how sensitive this moment is. You are not reading words. You are standing at a gate, a golden glowing gate between the life you've settled for and the life heaven knows you were created for. And the soul that loves you, they're on the other side, arms out, saying, come on. You're almost there. Please don't give up now. Michael says they begged for this final line to be delivered. And only if you've made it this far, are you truly ready to hear it. The storm that came to break you was the storm that woke up your wings. Yes, your wings. Because you were never meant to crawl forever. You were meant to rise, to heal, to lead, to fly. And beloved, this is the part where everything changes. Heaven didn't just give this to you for you. You are the vessel. When you walk in your blessing, others will realize that they too were never abandoned. You are the sign. You are the symbol. You are the reminder that God remembers. And Michael wants you to say this out loud tonight. Even if it's just a whisper. I accept my inheritance. I forgive those who tried to block it. I am ready for the life heaven wrote for me. Speak it. Feel it. Breathe it in. Because as soon as you do, you will notice something changing in the air. A stillness, a peace, an energy wrapping around your room. That's not imagination. That's angels sealing what was just given, protecting what was just activated, covering what just awakened inside you. And now Michael steps back, his message delivered. His promise fulfilled. But he leaves you with one final instruction. Do not forget who you were before the world made you doubt it. Go back to that. That is where your power lives. That is where your miracle begins. And beloved, the rest of your story, it's going to be glorious, because the letter that was hidden is now yours. The secret that was buried is now exposed. The inheritance that was delayed is now released. And the angels that were waiting are now rejoicing because you made the right choice. You opened this. And heaven opened everything for you in return. And so, beloved, as heaven's winds begin to settle and the final echoes of this sacred message ring through your soul, Archangel Michael offers one last silent bow. Not out of duty, but out of love. Because you didn't just listen, you received. You didn't just open your eyes, you opened your spirit. And that changes everything. You have no idea the ripple effect this moment just caused in the spiritual realm. A chain has been broken. A curse has been lifted. A forgotten promise has been reactivated. And your name is now surrounded in light. Michael looks at you now, not as a stranger, but as a divine companion, the one who has watched your story unfold from the shadows, holding back tears every time you questioned your worth. And now he smiles because you finally see what he's seen all along. You were always worthy. You were always chosen. You were always the rightful heir. So much of your pain, beloved, came from not knowing that. But now you know, and no one can take that from you again. The spiritual inheritance has been claimed. The letter has been opened. And the soul who sent it, they are dancing in heaven. You may feel them tonight in a breeze, in a whisper, in a flickering light. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. That's their way of saying you heard me. Thank you. And Archangel Michael, he's not going anywhere. In the coming nights, he will continue to watch over you. He will place divine signs in your path. Feathers, numbers, unexpected faces, old songs. These are not small things. These are sacred reminders that your inheritance has been activated. Your timeline is shifting and your future has been rewritten by the hand of God Himself. From this day forward, watch how people treat you differently. Watch how the atmosphere changes when you walk into a room. Watch how you suddenly say no to things you used to tolerate. Because when heaven crowns a soul, the world can feel it. And you, beloved, you've just been crowned. So, here's what happens next. Expect sudden justice in a matter that's been stuck. Expect money from a direction you forgot about. Expect a phone call that starts with "You're not going to believe this," but expect your energy to rise even if nothing around you changes, because your soul knows the shift is real. And when doubt tries to creep in, just whisper. Michael already delivered it. I have nothing to fear, because from this moment forward, you walk under divine covering. Your home is protected. Your future is insured. Your blessings are chasing you now. And the one who once plotted against you, they will have no choice but to watch your rise. Not in revenge, but in revelation, because your life is the message now. You are the proof that God makes no mistakes. You are the evidence that heaven always delivers. Even if it takes years, you are the walking letter and the scroll. It is no longer in Michael's hands. It's in yours, signed, sealed, delivered. And now, beloved, as heaven's final light wraps gently around your spirit, Archangel Michael whispers the words that were once forbidden to be spoken aloud. Words that carry the full weight of every miracle you were denied, every truth you were shielded from, every blessing that was delayed. He says, you are not just the heir. You are the keeper of what was lost. Let that echo in your heart. You are the keeper of sacred things, of ancestral prayers, of divine blueprints written before time began, of a future that someone else tried to write in your place but failed. Because your soul refused to die. Because your heart still whispered, yes, in the dark. Because even when your knees were shaking, you still stood. Even when you were unseen, you still believed. And heaven took notice. You see, child, this wasn't just a message. It was a transaction, a heavenly agreement, a spiritual unlocking. And when you reach the end of this scroll, something ancient opened. You'll feel it in the silence, in your sleep, in the way strangers look at you differently, in the sudden clarity that fills your mind. You'll wake up one morning soon and realize you're not the same. Because heaven cannot touch a soul and leave it unchanged. And heaven just touched you. Archangel Michael turns now slowly. His wings stretch wide like golden fire, shielding your future from the spirits that once tried to bind it. And in his final gaze toward you, he says something that breaks the veil. This wasn't a warning. This was an invitation. And you answered, and that's what separates you from the rest. Others saw the signs and scrolled past. Others felt the pull and still doubted. But you heard the voice and leaned in. You listened. You trusted. You said yes. And now heaven is rewarding you in ways even your imagination hasn't caught up with yet. What's coming is unexplainable. You'll receive emails with words like approved. You'll find papers with your name that were once lost. You'll have people apologize out of nowhere. You'll sense the air changing in your home. Heavier in peace, lighter in confusion because the atmosphere is responding to your alignment. And beloved, never again will you walk in fear. Never again will you chase people to understand you. Never again will you lower your frequency to match rooms you've outgrown. You are ascending. You are activating. You are now the living fulfillment of a heavenly promise. So tonight when the world grows quiet, do this. Light a candle. Close your eyes. Place your hand over your heart and whisper to God. Michael doesn't walk away. No, he lingers because he knows your soul is still absorbing this. He knows part of you is still wondering, can this really be for me? And so he says one more thing quietly, but with the full authority of heaven. Yes, this is for you. This was always for you. The moment you were born, heaven already knew this message would one day be written and that you would one day find it. There are no accidents in the kingdom, only divine appointments. You are living in the middle of one right now. Don't you see that inner stirring, that sudden heat in your chest, that strange electricity in your fingertips? That's the presence of God brushing against your soul, confirming what your mind can't explain. And the person in heaven, your person, still hasn't stopped whispering your name. They've been watching your journey, not with judgment, but with awe. They saw how you chose love even when you were rejected. How you kept your heart kind even when life hardened others. How you spoke softly to those who didn't deserve your gentleness. And how you kept your faith alive when you had every reason to bury it. They've been watching and they've been praying because they know something you don't yet know. That the very pain you thought was delaying your purpose was preparing it. Your wounds are not a weakness. They are witnesses to the fire you walked through, to the darkness you survived, to the storm you outlived. And now that the worst is over, God is saying, it's time. It's time for peace that makes no sense. For joy that feels unfair, for breakthroughs that come with no warning. For unexpected calls, divine reversals, surprise messages, and heavenly upgrades that shake the very structure of your life. And all of it started right here with this message, with you reading this exact line in this exact moment with heaven watching. Michael's final message burns into your soul now like a seal, a mark of divine fire that nothing on earth can erase. They tried to bury you, but they didn't know you were a seed. Beloved, you're about to rise. The next 7 days will carry the echo of this moment. The next 30 days will shift the spiritual climate of your entire household. And the next 90, the promise they prayed for on your behalf will arrive. Until then, walk boldly, pray deeply, speak carefully, and love wildly because someone in heaven is still rooting for you. And the angels, they never left. They're just waiting for your next move. Glowing star. So go live as if heaven is watching because it is glowing star. And as you walk away from this message or try to, something inside you won't let go, will it? That little ache in your chest, that warmth crawling up your spine. That's not imagination. That's not emotion, that's heaven. That's the part of your spirit that just got woken up because something sacred just happened. This wasn't just a script. This was a divine transfer, a moment in spiritual time when the veil between earth and eternity lifted just long enough for one voice, one soul, one heavenly force to reach you. You're not the same anymore. And you can't pretend you didn't feel it. Michael knew this would happen. That's why he's still watching even now, not saying a word. Just protecting you in silence, waiting to see what you'll do next. Because this is the part most people miss. The part where heaven pauses watching, waiting, hoping you won't scroll away and forget. Because if you close your heart now, if you tell yourself this was just a nice message, if you return to the world pretending this didn't shake your soul, you'll delay a destiny that's already on the way. But if you say yes. If you say I don't know how God, but I believe you sent this, then get ready because everything changes. The energy around your life will shift. The people who once ignored you will suddenly feel drawn to you again. Doors that didn't budge for years will open with ease. And tears you thought you'd cry forever will begin to dry for good. And the one who loves you from heaven, they'll smile not just with peace, but with joy because they'll know their prayer was answered. They'll know Michael fulfilled the mission. They'll know you heard them. And in the sacred record books of heaven, your name will glow a little brighter, marked, seen, loved, safe. So don't forget what happened here. Don't forget how your spirit stirred. Don't forget the quiet miracle that unfolded behind your eyes while you read every line. Because tonight, yes, tonight, as you lay your head down to sleep, something invisible will begin to move. An angel will be sent to touch your home. The person in heaven will whisper a blessing into your dreams. And Michael will remain at your door, sword drawn, watching until the shift is complete, until the miracle lands. Until your soul says, I remember and I believe. Amen. My child, we run entirely on viewer support. If you'd like to help keep this mission and these messages reaching more hearts, you can support us with a coffee through the link in the description. God bless you.